No matter where you go, or how much of the planet you explore, nature always hides secrets scarier than you can imagine. From terrifying titans to long-forgotten monsters.
A mysterious sea creature was just spotted off the coast of North Carolina, and it's got a lot of people scratching their heads.
It's on everybody's top 5 list of legendary creatures, the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh my God!
Hold your breath, because after watching these videos, you'll be left saying, these creatures should not exist. A big crowd gathered in Arica, Chile to see a strange fish in shallow water. It was so big that they were unable to handle it and had to hook it to a crane to lift it onto land. It was an oarfish, nearly 16 meters long. In Japan, they believe oarfish warn of tsunamis. The townspeople got worried, as the presence of such a creature at a port was a sign that something bad might happen. Are they being warned of tsunamis? Only time will tell. Beachgoers encounter. In July 2023, people on a beach in Tumbes, Peru, felt like they received a warning about a natural disaster from the waves. A group of beachgoers gathered around a 3-meter oarfish that swam right up to the shore. They watched it for a while, amazed by its long, silvery body. Then, they helped send it back into the water. Interestingly, this wasn't the first time an oarfish had been spotted in the area. Some of the locals recall that another oarfish had appeared on this same beach in the past, but that one was even bigger.
Ahí está, todavía.
Weird fish. In Thailand, beachgoers were surprised when a strange creature washed up on shore. It had a long, thin body similar to that of an oarfish, but its face was more like a catfish with whisker-like barbels. Some people thought it might be a sea dragon, while others wondered if it was a hybrid fish. Nobody was sure how it ended up on the beach. Maybe a big wave had carried it there. The odd-looking fish didn't survive its trip to shore, but definitely succeeded in amazing the beachgoers. Wolf feels surprise.
Holy. Oh.
A fisherman looking for crabs in the cage found a marine animal with a long, skinny body like an eel. It had sharp teeth in the front and dark spots all over. He quickly figured out it was a wolf eel, known for its ability to change colors to match its surroundings. Remember, the sea is full of surprises. Next time you're fishing, be prepared. You might just meet some unusual creatures that are best left in their watery home.
Look what we got. We got another wolf eel. Big boy. Look at those teeth.
Icelandic worm monster. On February 6, 2012, a farmer in eastern Iceland captured a bizarre river monster and uploaded the footage to the internet. People speculated that it was the Lagarfliot worm, also known as the Iceland worm monster, which is a cryptid associated with Lagarfliot Lake. The lake's water visibility is incredibly poor due to siltation, and the creature has not been scientifically studied. Sightings of the monster have been consistently logged since 1345. This worm-like creature is presumed to be over 300 feet long, longer than a football field, and has been reported coiled near the shore by numerous eyewitnesses. According to various reports, it has been spotted both in the water and on dry land, leading to the belief that it can move onto land. Lake monsters. Tourists on a tour boat witnessed a rare sight. They spotted 2 dark figures that appeared under the water, with cylindrical bodies and faces that looked scary like wolf eels. At first, no one on the boat could identify what these mysterious creatures were. Only later did they realize they had spotted giant lake monsters that might have gotten disturbed by the invaders and decided to come so close to the surface. After the video circulated on social media, many claimed those were prehistoric creatures. But experts have debunked this theory, claiming those might be seals hunting in water that day. Beach House, Lampy.
Suction hurts. And there's its teeth.
A beach house became the site of a strange encounter when a man found a snake-like creature stuck to the floor. He tried but failed to pull it off easily. After a big tug, he finally got it loose. Surprise! It wasn't a snake at all, but a lamprey. These odd fish don't have jaws and look like eels. They use their round, toothy mouths to stick to other fish and eat. While that sounds scary, lampreys are actually important for keeping rivers and oceans healthy.
And there's its teeth. That tongue just cut.
Giant centipede. Thankfully, this creepy crawler didn't harm the man who offered it his wrist to crawl on. Posted in 2014, the video shows a fully grown centipede wriggling on a man's wrist. The centipede's body was segmented, with long, slender legs that allowed for quick movement. Its head featured a pair of long antennae and powerful mandibles, and it measured about 11 inches in length. After the video went viral, people started reporting it claiming to be an illegal practice. But before zoological authorities could take action, the man revealed that the giant centipede was his pet, and he even had a license for it. Serpent-like creature. A lady researcher on a sea survey caught a creature she'll never forget. She found a long, snake-like animal with many small fins along its sides. It looked like a giant isopod, with a hard, segmented, shell-like body. It also had 2 sets of antennae to help it sense its surroundings. This was so big, it covered the entire deck of the boat. It was an incredible discovery, as no one had ever seen such a sea creature before. Fisherman's scary encounter. In 2016, a Malaysian fisherman caught a fish that gave him a fright. It had a face like a goby, with small eyes and a big, flat head. Its body was long and skinny, getting thinner near the tail. The strangest part was its huge mouth that turned upwards, filled with sharp teeth. The fisherman had never seen anything like it before. He looked closer and realized it was an eel goby. Eel gobies aren't well-known fish and live in places where rivers meet the sea. This might be the reason the fisherman didn't recognize it. Janitors Beach discovery. A beach janitor spotted a suction cup peeking out of the sand and tried to grab it with his stick, but it was too bendy to pick up easily. At first, he thought it was an octopus, as it also had 8 arms, but its 2 long tentacles with flat, oval-shaped bodies made it look different. Finally, a cuttlefish was out. It is a very smart sea creature and can change colors to hide. This one probably buried itself in the sand to stay safe. Wolfish Test. A man found a wolf eel on his boat deck featuring sharp front teeth. Unlike the teeth of many fish, wolf eel teeth are not flat. Instead, they are pointed and strong, resembling those of a mammal rather than typical fish teeth. He had heard many stories about the impressive strength of the wolf eel's jaws, and this unexpected encounter gave him a chance to witness that power firsthand. He placed a soda can near the fish's mouth. In a flash, the wolf eel bit down and crushed the can as if it were made of paper. Giant lobster catch. Fishermen in Bermuda got a big shock on October 14th, 2016. They were out at night hoping to catch some snapper fish, but their nets caught a giant lobster. This wasn't your regular lobster though. It was huge, weighing 13 pounds, and it had long, scary-looking legs that stretched out almost 2 feet. They carefully took the lobster off their hook, snapped some photos to remember this crazy catch, and released it back to its natural habitat. Legendary eel. What felt like a routine trip turned into a discovery beyond imagination. Marine officials caught a giant eel with dark, smooth, and slimy skin, hinting that it was from the deep sea, as these features are perfect for gliding in those waters. Soon, they realized that it was the Great Abaya. According to locals, the Abaya is a guardian spirit of the waters. People believe it protects all the sea creatures. A similar incident happened when locals sighted a huge abaya at Melanesian New Guinea Island in the southwestern Pacific Ocean. Its presence is often seen as a sign of balance in nature, ensuring that the water's ecosystem is kept safe and undisturbed. Lampy Incident.
Why? That is a lamprey right there. They suck on.
Some marine officials found more than they expected when fishing in the West Branch. They caught a fish but also noticed it had a hole in its mouth. They took a closer look and found out it was a lamprey. These unusual fish are known for their distinctive sucker-like mouths and sharp teeth, which they use to latch onto other fish. Lampreys might look a bit scary, but they're an important part of many water ecosystems. Sometimes, the most interesting finds can come from unexpected places.
Why? That is a lamprey right there. They suck on.
Eel Lunch. A fisherman got a big surprise when he found a sharp-toothed wolf eel in his catch. But that wasn't all. While checking his fishing cage, he saw it trying to eat a crab for lunch. It was busy and seemed focused on its meal, making the scene even more interesting for the fisherman. At first, the fisherman thought about putting the wolf eel back in the water dot, but then he changed his mind and placed it back in the cage. Wolf eels might look scary with their big teeth and fierce appearance, but they are actually quite shy creatures. Singaporean Monster. People in Singapore were in for a shocking surprise when an extraordinary creature was spotted gliding through the waters of the Geylang River. This mystery animal had a fin and a tail just like a fish, but it also had a big mouth with long whiskers. Some witnesses thought it resembled a catfish mixed with an eel. It's not every day you see a hybrid marine animal so unusual in a city river. People wondered where it came from and what kind of creature it could be. Fishing trick. A man caught a really cool fish using a super clever trick. The fish he found was long and round, almost like a snake. It had dark brown skin with stripes on its sides. He knew right away it was a snakehead merlefish. But the coolest part was how he caught it. Instead of using a normal fishing rod, he had a special stick with a rope on the end. He made a loop with the rope and put it in the water near the fish. When the fish tried to swim away, he quickly twisted the loop and pulled it out. It's amazing how creative people can be when fishing. Giant eel. In Simbu, Papua New Guinea, locals made headlines after a remarkable catch in the Wagi River. The fishermen proudly displayed their impressive find in Kundiawa town, showcasing the creature tied to a stick for all to see. It was a dark and slippery eel, and was so large that it took several people to transport it through the bustling streets. Excited by their catch, they decided to put it up for sale at K$3,000, an unusually high price for such a remarkable find. Giant eels can be quite valuable due to their size and rarity. Pomano Beach surprise. On July 4th, 2024, visitors at Pomano Beach, Florida got an unexpected Independence Day surprise. A giant creature with a weird body and flipper-like fins washed up on the shore. It wasn't until people got closer that they realized what it really was. Not one, but two manatees had gotten tangled up together in the waves. Manatees are often viewed as gentle giants and have become symbols of marine conservation. Giant shipworm discovery. A TV crew in the Philippines made an amazing discovery while filming a show about shellfish in 2017. They discovered a giant shipworm buried in the mud of a smelly lagoon. It looked like a long black worm and was living inside a shell with a soft part sticking out. The giant shipworm can grow up to 5 feet long and a couple of inches in diameter, making it an impressive find. Historically, these creatures have remained largely a mystery since the 18th century. Scientists had only been aware of their existence through the carbonate shells they leave behind, but had never seen a live one. Rare salamander find. Imagine spotting a giant reptile in your backyard. A man did. It had a large body, somewhat similar to an eel, but broader and more mighty, with an unusual orange hue, a rare color variant. The body was smooth, with soft, wrinkled skin. Its face had mud on it, which made the man think about its origin. Soon he realized that it was a Chinese salamander, often referred to as a living fossil. These salamanders have existed for over 170 million years and have changed very little throughout evolutionary history, giving scientists a glimpse into ancient life. Mysterious sea creature. In Rio on September 16, 2024, fishermen pulled up a huge sea creature that amazed everyone. The greenish beast was so long that it covered most of the boat's deck. It had scale-like patterns on its body, making it look strange and scary. The crew had a hard time handling the creature. Some speculated that it might be a sea serpent, but it looked more like a titanoboa, a giant snake that lived long ago. I must say sightings of these unknown creatures have increased recently. Alien-like catch. On September 28th, a man was fishing at his favorite spot on Sentosa Island near Singapore. He hoped to catch lunch, but instead pulled up an odd creature. It had up to 100 moving arms, like tentacles, and was a mix between a starfish and an octopus. He felt confused and posted a video online. The response was surprising. People told him it was a basket sea star, also called a brittle star. So, there is nothing to worry about, as the creature here is nothing otherworldly, but just a marine surprise. Mystery sea creature. A video went viral showing a giant sea creature hanging from a crane above a truck. People were amazed by how huge it was. The video quickly spread all over the internet, with people trying to guess what this monster from the deep could be. Some excited viewers thought they had finally found the famous Loch Ness Monster, the sea creature that people have talked about for years. Others were sure it was just a whale that had washed ashore after losing its life. Octopus sighting. In Indonesia, people on the beach spotted a giant octopus that had washed up on the shore. It had spooky eyes and huge arms covered in suction cups. Some witnesses said it looked like a kraken, a sea monster from old sailor tales. In stories, krakens would attack ships by wrapping their long arms around them and pulling them under the water. Now sailors need to be careful. These creatures can attack their ships at any time. Giant Hornet sighting.
Juga mempunyai sangat beracun, bahaya tuh ya. Kita mau masak.
Fishing near a lake turned terrifying when a group of friends spotted two huge bugs nearby. These weren't normal bees. They were big and had giant stingers and strong mandibles that looked like scissors. The friends quickly realized these were Asian giant hornets. These angry insects are known for being mean to honeybees and are not safe for people due to their painful stings. If you ever see giant bees like these, don't try to catch them. These big hornets are not safe, and it's best to stay away.
Ya, yang ini betina teman-teman.
Sea monster.
What is that? What is happening? You guys see this?
At Coney Island, an angler made an astonishing catch. A sea creature with 3 legs. At first, he thought it was just a regular fish, but when he pulled it up, it started moving around on the deck in a weird way. It had 1 long tentacle and 2 short legs. He took a video and shared it online. People went crazy trying to figure out what it was. Some speculated that it might be a sea squirrel, while others said that it was a new kind of stingray. The most bizarre feature? It had a mouth where you typically expect to see eyes, along with gills positioned oddly on its body. Even in familiar places, nature can still surprise us with its wonders.
Oh, what is that, Mom?
Giant sea creature.
我勒个去，这玩意儿这是个大海怪呀！
Locals got a big shock when they saw a huge sea creature near the shore at night. It had a flat, diamond-shaped body with big, wing-like fins on its sides. The top was gray with pink spots. They soon realized it was a Manta Ray. This one was so big that more than a dozen people couldn't pull it out of the water. It probably weighed several tons. Manta rays are considered vulnerable to extinction due to overfishing and the demand for their gill plates. Locals must be lucky, as they had just witnessed a rare, fleeting moment with one of nature's giants.
你看这人在这里，看上去才多大？
Giant sawfish.
Holy
A group of teenagers in Port Hedland, Australia, had an unforgettable encounter during a fierce sandstorm. As they were fishing, a huge find got into the bait. They struggled for 2 hours, and finally, they were able to catch a rare 6-meter green sawfish, one of the world's largest marine species. This fish is known for its long, toothed snout that looks like a saw. Since it was protected, they quickly documented the catch with photos before releasing it back into the water. Despite the storm, they managed to handle the situation responsibly, making sure the rare creature was unharmed and safe.
Holy
Uninvited guest. Some fishermen had a strange day when an uninvited guest showed up on their boat. At first, they mistook it for an unidentified sea creature, but later, one of them recognized it as an oarfish that had somehow jumped aboard. It had a bright red fin running down its long silver body. This sighting was special, as oarfish are rare to see near the coast. The fishermen carefully picked up the fish to return it to the sea. Before the big earthquake in 2011, 20 oarfish had washed up on beaches. The fishermen hoped this wasn't a warning of trouble ahead. Giant prawn surprise. A fisherman's catch scared him when he pulled up a giant marine animal. It was a prawn, but not just any prawn. This one had a striking striped body that was much bigger than usual, making it stand out among the other catches of the day, with multiple sets of legs. The front legs were extra large, and it had long, whip-like antennae. At first, the fishermen thought about how tasty it might be. Giant prawns are often used in yummy dishes, but this one was so big, it looked more frightening than delicious. Moray eel encounter.
How do I get this guy back without getting chopped? Come here.
A sailor had a scary surprise during a normal day at sea. A green, snake-like creature jumped onto his boat. At first, he couldn't identify what it was, but he soon realized it was an eel with a special pattern on its skin. The eel was angry and trying hard to get back to the water, but the sailor couldn't just grab it. Moray eels have super sharp teeth for catching slippery fish. If they feel scared, they might bite someone. The sailor had to think fast to help the eel without getting any wounds. I think he should let it be there rather than taking a risk to grab it.
How do I get this guy back without getting chopped? Come here.
Devilfish discovery. A famous Russian fisherman recently found a strange sea creature while sailing in the Norwegian Sea. During his trip, he caught an odd-looking fish that grabbed his attention right away. Because of its unique look, he decided to name it the devilfish. It was bluish-gray and had a shape that made it stand out from other fish. One of its most noticeable features was its front teeth, which looked like a dog's teeth. Also, both the eyes and mouth of this unusual fish were popping out. The fish seemed to be trying to communicate a secret from the depths of the ocean. Flying fish encounter. Flying fish are real, and one man saw proof. During his ocean trip, he caught a fish with wings. It had a dark brown body with lighter spots. The fish had a wide head and a big mouth full of sharp teeth for catching food. Its eyes were high up on its head. These amazing fish are called Garnia fish and can gulp air to help them survive in places where other fish can't. They use their wing-like fins to glide above the water, almost like they're flying. Giant lawn worm. In Glenmore Park, Texas, a homeowner decided to investigate his wilting lawn. The grass had turned brown, and the plants were wilting mysteriously. To his surprise, he discovered a giant earthworm, wider than a road, hidden beneath the soil. The massive creature had made the lawn its temporary home, creating tunnels and eating away at the plant roots. The horrified gardener had to use all his strength to remove the unwanted visitor. So next time you notice your lawn losing its color, be careful. You never know what might be lurking under the surface. Mystery blob. In Mindoro, Philippines, the discovery of an unidentified creature on the shore left locals in a state of shock. They stumbled upon a massive, foul-smelling entity floating in the shallow water that nobody could identify. It appeared as a white blob with long, decaying flesh and a puffy body, resembling the infamous Lobster found in the Philippines back in May. Curiosity got the better of one villager, who even poked it with a stick to take a closer look. Despite the intrigue surrounding the creature, its true identity remained a mystery. However, officials suggested that it was likely the carcass of a whale. Unusual find. A video that's taking over the internet has everyone talking about a strange sea creature. This wasn't just any ordinary ocean animal. It was huge and pink. It had long arms, and its appearance made people think it came straight out of a science fiction movie. Viewers of the video had different ideas about what it could be. Some speculated that a fisherman caught it while searching for an octopus and called scientists to examine it so they could determine what it really was. The oceans are full of surprises, and there are still so many strange and wonderful creatures yet to be discovered. Sea Anomaly. A fishing crew got the surprise of their lives when an odd sea creature showed up on their boat. The strange visitor had many legs covered in suction cups, just like an octopus. But this wasn't any normal sea animal they'd seen before. Something was different about it. The puzzled sailors noticed that the creature didn't seem well, and its belly seemed unusually large. When they looked closer, they found out why. This mysterious sea animal had swallowed another sea creature. The crew carefully helped remove what it had eaten from its stomach. Zuo Maru discovery. In 1977, a Japanese fishing boat sailing near New Zealand caught a sea animal that made history. The crew of the Zuo Maru pulled up a huge, with a tiny head on a long neck, a fat body, and 4 big fins. The mysterious sea monster looked just like the dinosaurs the sailors had seen in books. They even gave it a nickname, Nessie. Some people wondered if they had found a real-life sea dinosaur called a plesiosaur, extinct for millions of years ago. Could ancient creatures still be swimming in our oceans? Impressive hybrid crab. Researchers on a boat made an unexpected discovery when they pulled up a giant marine arthropod from the depths. It had a spiky shell and big claws, unlike anything they had seen before. Its body size resembled that of a Japanese spider crab, but it also had features of a regular crab. Despite its fearsome appearance, the creature remained calm as the researchers observed it. The unusual creature led scientists to wonder if it could be a new hybrid species. Special guest. A fisherman found a weird-looking fish on his boat. Instead of throwing it back, he decided to make it a special guest for lunch. This scary fish was a monkfish. It was brown and had a flat, wide body with a huge head. But the scariest part was its mouth, full of long, sharp teeth like needles. The fisherman served the monkfish some small fish to eat. It may not be the most attractive fish in the ocean, but have a unique, predatory nature. Sometimes the strangest-looking creatures can be the most interesting. Water dragon. A man enjoying the underwater view was amazed when he spotted something moving in the rocks. He saw a creature that looked just like the Chinese sea dragons from old stories. It had a long, snake-like body covered in fish scales. It also had sharp claws with 4 or 5 fingers on each foot. But this wasn't a big, scary dragon. It was tiny, probably a baby dragon that lost its way home. Even though it was sad to see it like that, finding such a rare creature was super exciting. Weird discovery.
Maybe found this fish hook freshly out of the sea.
A young boy made a weird discovery while walking on the beach. He found what looked like a dried-up fish, but it wasn't like any fish he'd seen before. This strange thing had a long body with bumpy, rough skin instead of smooth scales like most fish. It didn't even have the usual fins you see on fish. The boy was puzzled about what it could be. Later, he learned that what he thought was a weird fish was actually an ancient fishing hook. It looked just like a special hook called Manaya Kalani that people used a long, long time ago.
Maybe found this fish hook freshly out of the sea.
It's time for today's open discussion. At the Skull Island Park in Florida, visitors screamed when they spotted an odd creature inside a glass box. It was a giant worm, and it didn't have any eyes or even a face, just a huge mouth full of sharp, pointy teeth. The park rangers told everyone it was a carnictus, nicknamed the vile meat weasel. These creepy creatures live deep underground where it's dark all the time. The brave tourists took videos of the giant worm before it slithered back into its home on the earth. Next time you visit a theme park, keep your eyes open. You might spot some unusual creatures in the most surprising places. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.